Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. That music you heard was none other than the Unholy Four and their mega fucking hit song, Dirty Knife. Check out the Unholy Four on Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple Music, Instagram, wherever you can find the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia. Podcast specific promo code LISTENER. It's listener with a question mark. Will get you 15%.
I forgot about that.
It'll get you 15% off of your next order at OttsvilleRecordGarage.com. We are now technically a listener supported podcast. So that's like before we were kind of like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why is this working? Why is it not working? We are officially a listener supported podcast.
You at home can be the person who buys my next pack of cigarettes.
There you go. There it is. You can give Adam cancer. Yeah. How many people can say that?
Yeah.
You know, I listen to Country Hipster Podcast to give Adam cancer.
Yeah.
So it's great.
I do it.
So there is a link on our Spotify page. It's only on Spotify where you can donate a monthly amount to the podcast, and basically just goes to us getting better equipment and stuff like that for the podcast and beer, so and cigarettes apparently. So check that link out on our Spotify page there and click on, and you can do some listener support. I am actually trying to figure out a way to hook it in so that way if you do support the podcast on a monthly basis, you can also get a personalized promo code to use over and over and over again at OttsvilleRecordGarage.com. I just haven't totally figured out what that's going to look like yet, but it's going to look like something, and so that way not only you're supporting the podcast, but then if you buy records, you can also get a discount that's just always there. So I'm working on that right now. Speaking of co-host, over to my left is my brother and co-host Adam.
What's up, guys?
Yes. And we have a very special guest who's back on the Country Hipster Podcast. It's been a while since you've been here.
Yeah.
Boxcar Racer. Yeah. So that was last year, not only last season. That was like the end of last year. We did the beer episode, and then we did the Boxcar Racer.
Originally it was going to be like both in one, and then you're like, fuck it, we're just making one a bonus.
Well, yeah, because we're talking about beer for we talked 40 minutes. We're like, we're just gonna make it a different episode. So we needed a bonus episode anyway to get us through the holidays. But this is my friend and beer mentor, Mr. Bob Hurst from Village Ale Works and the Irish rock band Boxside Roads.
I thought you were going to go Bobside Roads.
I've heard Bobside Roads.
I have heard that too. I heard a whole lot of different variant names.
Did you? So Bob, what have you been up to since your last visit to the Country Hipster Podcast?
Ooh,
just signing autographs,
kissing babies,
signing titties. That's all you do.
Yeah, all the girls handing you their number. That's it. You're not kissing baby titties, are you?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, good. That would be weird and probably problematic.
Yeah.
Probably.
Just
probably.
Check yourself there, Paul.
All right, very problematic.
Very problematic. Yeah. Not happening in this camp.
Okay,
here,
good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, lots of good varying different stuff happening, in the brew world, in the music world, just trying to step out and do different things.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
We are playing a festival together. It's actually it's been a long time since the Birmingham Six and Boxside Roads have been on the same bill.
Yeah.
Actually, it's been quite a few years. I know this is very exciting for you. Because it's what you've always looked forward to as a musician, right? Is to play with the Birmingham Sucks.
Yes.
So, all right. So, as Bob mentioned, he likes beer and we like beer. And when we pulled this envelope last week, it was another mystery beer. We have back-to-back mystery beer episodes here.
Tinfoil.
Yes, Hans, the cans with the tinfoil. All right, so we have our mystery beers here. This is our Brulette Challenge, and we're going to do it a little bit different. So we're going to do it the way that we do it here on the Country Hipster Podcast, whereas like we buy beers for one another. Adam bought my beer. I bought the beer for Tom. Not Tom. Fucking who's Tom? Tom. Bob and Adam. I bought their beers for them.
So you did have a Tom here today.
There was a Tom here today, so it's not good. And it wasn't Tom the country heartthrob. It was Tom. It was Apology Tom was here earlier. Yeah. So we're going to do that this way, but then Bob, do you want to explain what the true Roulette Challenge is, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, the Roulette Challenge I'm familiar with is where you have a multitude of beers and you select one. It's not like this one where it was purchased for with the intent of somebody trying it and not knowing what it is until you discover it, right? But a true roulette, like a Russian roulette would be, and so I had 7 different beers. It would be almost like like a pistol with 7 shots, right?
Like Deer Hunter,
right? And
like Deer Hunter,
and it is it's completely random. I mean, I know what the beers are that are in the cans, but these 2 guys don't, and so they'll pick one at random and go for it. It wasn't pre-selected, so
but these beers have been pre-selected here, and so go ahead.
Can we have a new Country Hipster T-shirt that just says the Country Hipster Podcast, just like Deer Hunter?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. There's actually another Country Hipster Podcast T-shirt we're going to get made up too. There was a listener on the REM episode. He left some comments on our YouTube channel about the episode, which is pretty good. So we're going to make another one that says the Country Hipster Podcast, beard guy bumbling inarticulately about what he thinks of the album while he frames himself with his directional light. So true. I'm not the only one who thinks you mailed it in on that episode.
Listen, I didn't mail it in. I just had zero interest in that fucking album.
Well, obviously you don't. There's people who know better than you, sir. People who knew better than you. All right. So, Bob, since you are our guest, we will let you take the first Roulette Challenge here for the beer that I purchased for you. Now, okay, you know my history with beer, and
I do.
You know the types of beer that I usually drink.
So that's a High Life.
Which is that's what I was gonna say.
Or PBR.
Yeah.
What do you think I would have gotten you? Just like, obviously sight unseen, because you don't know what this is. You haven't opened it yet or anything. Like
all depends on how sick you want to be with your selection and how much you want to punish me. But probably some light lager of some kind.
Okay, all right.
That's I was to guess.
Okay,
that you would intentionally want to put to me.
Now here's all I'm going to tell you is that Katie, my wife, told me that I have to be good to you. So that I'll just leave it like that.
All right. Well, then maybe it's not like that.
So there you go, man. Crack yours open, and,
all right.
And let's see how what you think and how accurate you are with what we got you there. So
some fruited mango card or something.
I had the mango card actually from I forget who fucking makes it. It was pretty good though.
We'll start with that.
Yeah, start with that there. Well, you don't want to just get right into it?
Oh, I'll get into it. It's just the foil is making it a little tough.
Yeah.
It can.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely fruited. Pineapple. I'm catching.
Uh-huh.
Joke's on Paul, actually. He meant to give me the chelada and accidentally gave it to you.
Whoa, that's a face. That's a face.
Yeah, it's a bit sourish.
Okay.
Could be from the pineapple that's definitely present, heavily present.
Another big gulp. My thought was like when I did pick this up, like, oh, Bob might like this. I know it's definitely different. I don't know you to generally drink like fruity beers in general. You know what I mean?
No, not general. I mean, unless they're sours,
right.
which I have done. What I'm not getting in this is a whole ton of hop flavor. So it to me, this would be a style that would be more like it wouldn't be as pale ale, maybe more golden ale, with some kind of pineapple infusion of some kind. That's kind of where I'm thinking it is.
All right. You want to open up your foil there to see what it is?
Yeah, sure.
See what you got there?
See how close I got?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm thinking it's very reminiscent. It's almost shandy-ish, but
Oh, okay.
but
Do you mind if I see
Go
this
ahead.
guy right here?
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, actually, that aroma surprises me considering what it is.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting, because I almost picked that up for Paul.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So this is a like an IPA,
Yeah,
hazy IPA,
an Imperial Hazy IPA, I believe,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
correct. And Victory is the brewery, and they're known for a Belgian series, their monkey series, and this is one of those. It's a juicy monkey, so that it has a couple different fruits. It
Mhm.
looks like that. So there's citrus and pineapple, and so it's one of the monkey
Yep.
related
There you go.
beers.
There you go. And this is what is? I actually didn't even look at that as to what the ABV is on this.
That's
nine and a
probably
half.
high.
9.5.
Yeah, 9.5 alcohol.
That's pretty high.
Okay. All right. So, Adam, do you want to go with yours there? But you got the fact that it was like, like some sort of, you know what I mean, like the fruitiness and whatnot with the what do you got to pour it out, man? You got to pour it
No,
out.
I'm smelling it. I'm like, the way Bob described his, I'm like, Paul got me the exact same fucking thing.
I will tell you, I didn't. As you can see, look at you why do you make a mess? What is wrong with you? I got a nice new tablecloth.
I'm sorry.
Jesus, who invited you? What country did you come from?
It's Bob. Bob invited me.
I know. Bob invited you to the Yacht's Record Garage here. Well, that's actually a darker color than I thought it would be. Yeah, it's definitely a darker hue than I imagined that was going to come out, and it's very carbonated. Whatever it is,
It's very carbonated. It's got a lot of peach behind it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
at least it doesn't. It smells like artificial peach, but it smells like peach.
I like peach.
It looks like peach.
Yeah, it has a peach look to it as well. But.
Yeah, I think I urinated that color one time when I had
God.
kidney stones. So.
Oh!
That was a good face. What do you got there?
So I think we've talked about on the podcast. I forget what company makes it, but there's a company in England, I believe, that does a banana bread
Okay.
beer, and I think it's called banana bread beer.
Mhm.
And when you drink it, you get the mouthfeel as if you put a piece of bread in your mouth. You just got like the mouthfeel of like having a peach in your mouth. With
Okay.
This.
All right.
It just kind of caught me off guard. That's what that face was.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just the weird having a peach in your mouth feeling was strange.
And I think that's the Wells Brewery in England that does.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like, it's very sweet because it has a lot of that artificial flavor behind it.
Uh-huh.
I said it's not terrible, but I mean, I could probably only drink like this and call it a day.
Yeah.
Mm.
You got a big can there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is.
You don't know what that is?
It's not terrible.
Yeah?
It's not probably wouldn't be my first choice, but it's not terrible. Definitely like a excuse me. Definitely a summer beer.
Okay.
Which probably means that Paul got it up the beer distributor up the street.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because when I walked in there today to get Paul's beer, it said all summer beers like 50% off or something like that.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
I don't know that this one was fell into that sale though. So, but
I don't know. It's fucking strong.
Yeah.
The not the alcohol wise, the fruit,
flavor,
the flavoring wise.
Uh-huh.
I got no idea what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Is this mango cart that we were just talking about?
No, it's not mango.
Because I've learned that I don't know what real mangoes taste like.
Yes,
So
well,
this
you
might
know,
be
that honestly may still be the case after you open that up, that you don't know what real mangoes taste like.
Oh, see, Paul in his fucking infinite assholeness got me the mango chili,
mango
chile chelada. Like honestly, when I saw that all of the different variation of chiladas, I saw this one. I'm like, all right, I could probably get behind that one. When Paul eventually buys me one, if it's that, I wouldn't be too upset. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Definitely a fuck ton better than the tomato. Let me say that.
Is it spicy? Because like I think it was supposed to have like a hint of spice behind it. No, there's no spiciness behind
Not that
it.
I'm getting no.
Okay. All right. Here, let me see it. I want to.
Yeah, try that.
I want to try that bad boy out a little bit. Oh yeah, man. That is like reminiscent of the yeah, okay. That is the odor, the aroma. I keep saying odor. I mean, I know it's the same thing, but we're trying to be like fancy here.
Yeah.
The aroma of it has like it reminds me of that peach ring Rita's beer from the Chamonix Creek.
Mm-hmm.
But the taste is just like artificial syrupy.
Yeah,
crap.
It's very it's
yeah. That one's kind of weird. All right, so now I'm gonna go with mine here.
It's a lot of beer too.
Yeah. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say that Adam got me another Mountain Dew beer.
No.
Like
I did not. I saw them and I thought about it because I bought you the Baja Blast.
You did,
and they have an original flavor Mountain Dew, so I thought about it, but I didn't go Mountain Dew this time.
I still think you were like giving me watered down Windex last week. So.
I specifically went with this one because I thought the can looked cool.
Okay, you do that sometimes. The first one you got me. You also thought the can looked cool, and you didn't realize you were giving me like a 10% Imperial double IPA.
If I'm not mistaken, that one's like 6.5.
Okay, all right. That smells light. This smells like it's right up my alley.
When I was buying it, I couldn't remember if it's a style you specifically have said that you like.
Okay.
But
this is the piss color of beer that I love. Mm-hmm. So that is for sure. When we made our hot dog water was around this, maybe actually a little darker, maybe
slightly.
But it was, and this is not heavy on like the aroma there. I'm going to guess just by the aroma, it is some sort of a pale ale. I kind of want to say it's probably a pretty, if it's an IPA, it's a very light IPA. That's not an IPA at all. This is almost like.
Then what is it, Paul?
I don't know. This is almost like it's. I don't know. It's almost like it's not quite a wheat beer, but it drinks like a wheat beer, but without the like the flowery soapiness that you get from a wheat beer sometimes. Mm. So I don't know. I'm just gonna go with just like some sort of just garden variety pale ale. I'm not gonna guess the company or anything. I'm just gonna go with just straight pale ale.
So saying that it's garden variety is pretty funny when you open it and see the name of it.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go. Maybe I have some insight to this. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's a hazy IPA. It's a Founders Mortal Bloom Hazy IPA, citrusy and tropical notes. It's funny because it's a very. Here, you try this. This is a very either one of you. I don't get. It's a very very
when buying. I can't remember if you've said you like hazies or you.
I do like hazies. I do like hazies, but this doesn't drink like an IPA at all.
Oh no! Holy shit!
Yeah, exactly. Try that, Bob. I that goes swear the herpes aren't breaking out this week.
That goes down horribly smooth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That drinks way more like a really light. Like wheat beer,
that tastes like
definitely get the floral note in it though.
That tastes like I'm going to be stuck on the beach all day and I'm going to have to get drunk to enjoy it. I'm going to be drinking a bunch of those.
If you told me without sight unseen that you were giving me like a blue moon light, like a light blue moon or something like that, I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. But no, this is nice. I saw this as well, and I actually thought for a hot second about getting it for you. So he thought about getting me the beer I got you, and I thought about getting you the beer that he got me. But no, this is actually nice. This is the first one of the beers you've got me where I'm gonna be like, I don't want to drink this.
Plus, I saw there was Founders, and I tend to enjoy Founders. I don't think I've had a beer from Founders that I didn't really like.
Founders are pretty good. Founders, they do the all day IPA. Is that correct? Yeah,
they do.
I'm not huge on the all day IPA, but I do generally like the Founders stuff, and I will drink that. You know what I mean? It's not a problem to drink that. But, all right, so we have beers here, so we're going to double fist for a second so we can get on with the podcast, and I got to put my Oktoberfest hat on because we are in Oktoberfest, and we also have our Trogs Oktoberfest beer here.
I might only fist because this is rough.
That's rough,
This is like drinking syrup.
I'm popping it open already, because it is our Oktoberfest, and we are celebrating all the Oktoberfest beers and the fest beers.
It doesn't get better.
Cool. This is nice. This is This is Trogs, independent brewing out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it's a independently crafted and family owned operation. If you ever get an opportunity to check out the Trogs Brewery next to Hershey Park in Hershey, PA, go get the brown butter fucking popcorn because it's delicious. This is nice. This is a nice Oktoberfest. Honestly, my personal favorite Oktoberfest still to this day is Sam Adams Oktoberfest. It's just I love it. I love it. This is good though. This is different. This is maltier than the Sam Adams. But this is definitely, I'm not always huge on Trogs beers because sometimes they're low. Like even this is a 6%. Which for normal people is not a big deal, but I'm a fucking lightweight, so 6% is kind of a big deal for me. But like their Trogs beers tend to be heavier, but they also tend to be very flavorful. But this has the flavor. It's not that heavy. It's very malty. Now this is a Pilsner. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Are a lot of Oktoberfest beers and like the Marzen beers, aren't they more lagerish?
Well, Pilsner is a lager.
Okay. So
right?
What's the difference when you have a Pilsner versus a straight lager?
Well, it all depends on the region that you are making it in.
Okay.
You know, Germany and the outlying areas around it make these different style lager beers, and like Pilsner, for example, is more bohemian. It's more like
Rhapsody like.
Rhapsody like. Yeah, so it's more like Eastern Germany.
Okay.
Up along where Bohemia would have been.
Did you just get the joke?
No, but I'm just like in my head now. I'm just going Galileo.
I dismissed him immediately.
Yeah, I know.
I was like,
I should have too, but I just leaned into it too.
I just, my eyes figuratively rolled back into my head, and I was like, oh Christ. But to the point, I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of lagers, not to belabor the point, but I mean, there's Pilsners, there's Helles, there's Kolsch.
Okay. Not big on Kolsch's.
But they're all different style. They're all different styles of lager that are made, and varying degrees of how much malt is used and the types of hops that are used. Like Pilsen was in Czechoslovakia, or the Czech Republic, is known for a specific type of hops that they make Czech Pilsner beer with.
Okay.
So German Pilsner beer, not too far from where the center of Bohemia was, makes the Pilsner beer up in that region.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Very good. And now, since you're talking about German beer, we are going to have Kristen fact checked all you're saying about German, because she is our resident German expert. So, Kristen, you're going to have to check this shit out. Make
take
sure
notes.
Yeah, take notes. And we want it recited back to us in German.
Yeah.
So, yeah, get on it.
I'm okay with being fact checked.
Well, I fact check you all the time.
Again, another shake my head and let's move on.
Aren't you? Wait, no, you didn't say it right.
You're supposed
Move on.
Thank you. All right, so moving right along, Adam, we are here to talk about your record. We're not here just to talk about beer, although we are going to do the second part of the Brulette Challenge at some point during the episode as well, which is the true Deer Hunter version. And
looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah, no, so am I, because like I said, you have you know what the beers are that you put in there, but you don't know which one is which and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be fun. So we are here to talk about Adam's pick. This is your third pick of this season, right? Third pick, fourth pick, fourth pick. Okay. Yeah. Okay, your fourth pick of this season, and it is Circa Survive Blue Sky Notes. Noise. I have notes written here because I was making my notes. Blue Sky Notes. So let's hear the fucking factoids on this, buddy.
So this is Circa Survive's third studio album. Was released on April 20th. Released on April 20th, I should say. I'm sorry, 2010. Was released on Atlantic. This was the band's first release after a split with Equal Vision. The album was produced by David, I'm going to say it's pronounced Bottrill. who has produced other acts such as Peter Gabriel, Tool, Muse, Mudvayne, Godsmack, Coding Cambria, Placebo, Smashing Pumpkins, and Rush, along with a couple Circa Survive albums. Metacritic gave this album an 83 out of 100. Absolute Punk gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was listed as number 9 on MySpace.com's top 50 of 2010. And I was telling Paul there's not a lot of notes that were not a lot of factoids from the album. So the last thing I have on it is the album was, I said, released in 2010. And the band planned for a 10-year anniversary tour of the album in 2020, but was canceled due to COVID. And then they rescheduled it for 2022, but the band had in the process gone on hiatus. So the reunion tour for this album, or the anniversary tour, I should say, for this album never took place.
And I was half paying attention to your factoids, I'm not going to lie. Did you relay just now that they are fairly local?
They are fairly local. So we are here in the Oswald Record Garage, and Doylestown is what?
20 minutes?
20 minutes up the road. And if you look on if I'm not mistaken, if you look on the band's Wikipedia, they are listed as being from Doylestown.
Okay.
But I've always known Anthony Green, the lead singer of the band, has been is a fairly popular name in the kind of emo screamo type scene. From actually, never mind, I stand corrected. They're listed as being from Philadelphia.
Oh.
But there's a couple other bands. There's one band specifically that another Philly band that Anthony Green used to be the frontman for, which was Zoloft the Rock and Roll Destroyer.
Oh yeah. Which they were. We've talked about Zoloft the Rock and Roll Destroyer before, because they were members of that band, had something to do with an album from season 1. I almost want to say the Steel Train album.
No, the current singer Rachel, I think something or other. She did guest vocals on the Wonder Years.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I knew
that.
I knew it was one of your albums, and I knew we had mentioned them before. So okay, so and then of course the Wonder Years, friends of the podcast, who also have
Philly
background.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, this is. I think I said before, if I had a different, I do really enjoy Circa Survive. Enjoy Anthony Green's solo stuff. This is not my favorite Circa Survive album. I don't own that one because before, when I looked it up, it was very, very expensive. But now that I'm looking at it again, it's not terribly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I've seen copies for $50-$60 on Discogs.
Okay.
But if I had Juturna, we'd be talking about Juturna. Actually, if I had Juturna, we would have been talking about Juturna on season 1. But I don't. I have this, so I saved it for season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So Bob, usually when we have our guest, here's what we usually do is I'll send a list out before the season starts of all the records that we're going to do, and I give our guest our opportunity to pick what records they would like to come on and talk about. This season, we specifically asked our guests to say, "Hey, pick a record or two that you don't like or you don't know as well." Mm-hmm. Cool thing about Bob, this is one of the things I like about Bob, is I send him the whole list, and he just wrote me back. He's like, "You pick my records."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Fuck yeah, all right, that's really cool."
Which I just want to apologize, because now this means that I've made you listen to Boxcar Racer and now Circa Survive, which those two bands do not seem up your alley at all. So I apologize on my behalf.
And I randomly assigned this to you, so you didn't pick this record.
I did not.
You did not. Ooh,
you would not have.
I would not have.
So were you familiar with Circa Survive before listening to this record? Before, I called you up and was like, "Hey, do you want to do this? By the way, it's Circa Survive." Had you heard of them?
I was not familiar with the band, even though they were local. And to be honest, they're from the local area, but they were doing work out in California before they came back locally, right?
Yeah.
So. But they've toured locally. They've played the Unitarian Church, I think. They've been there, and a couple other underground venues and stuff. And yeah, but and as I said, and as I was mentioning, before the episode started, I kind of knew but because neither Paul nor Adam let me know whose album this was before we were coming into the podcast. But I had a good feeling about this one, that I knew which collection this was from, right? However, I will say that as confident as I was in that, when I listened to this album, I began to have second thoughts about it, because there were aspects of this album that, first of all, I knew that this was Adam's album, right? But there are aspects of it that I could see Paul being really into as well. So, and I'll be interested to hear his comments on it.
Yeah.
You will.
You're
in general, but no. I mean, to answer your question, I know that's a long way around to say that. No, I was not familiar with this group, or this album, but I do have friends that are friends of the band.
Oh, nice.
That I happened to mention this past week that we were going to be doing this particular episode with this album, and they're like, well, that's not the best album from them, but so I think they shared your opinion that this wasn't their best work.
Okay.
But
and you didn't think to have any of his friends reach out to the band to say, hey, maybe you guys could do an interview? Like, could you, friend of a friend of a friend come on the podcast?
He's offered to come on the podcast and actually do album reviews as well.
Who is this?
It's my buddy Shane Fisher.
Oh, I don't know him. Fuck him.
The brewer. he's one of my other brewing friends.
Well,
and contacts.
He is welcome. He is welcome to call. I will reach out to your country hipster, and then we'll make it happen.
It's funny because I actually have a weird 6 degrees of separation connection to the band as well.
What is your 6 degrees of separation?
Apparently, my buddy's friend, one of my best friends since I was 3 years old. He married a girl, and then we were talking the one day, and one of my other friends said to me, he's like, "Oh, guess who she used to babysit for?" And I was like, "Who?" And he's like, "She used to babysit Anthony Green's kids, the lead singer of this band, because she lived in the Doylestown. She was from the Doylestown area." So I was like, "Oh, that's a weird roundabout thing that I have."
Yeah. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool, though. That's kind of cool. So, all right. So 6 degrees of separation aside, and you trying to pinpoint whose album this was, which you are correct. It was Adam's album there. What did you think about the album?
Well, all right. So, first of all, I mean, the style of music that this particular band is, right? The music that I used to make and used to be into as a younger man, and up, which kind of leads me to where I am now. I was always into punk hardcore and thrash, right? So I leaned a lot more into maybe where some of the bands that evolved from that, because this is a post-hardcore band, and they're very emo prog, like art rock kind of band, and that wasn't necessarily, it isn't necessarily my taste necessarily, right? However, saying that, I didn't completely dislike it. What I will say is that I do think that a lot of it sounded the same. Prog bands tend to do that because they're themed in their albums, so a lot of the songs in a particular album will take on that theme and therefore can start to sound very similar. And this album for me was no different. I think that a lot of the tracks had a very similar vibe to it. But there were aspects of it that I could pull from that I enjoyed. And then there were others that I was like, well, the combination of all of them would make it so that I wouldn't be following a group like this. Right. And so, but there were, to point out what some of those things are. There were aspects of aggressive guitar that I kind of liked, but it was the melodic aspect that kind of killed that for me. You know, I mean the artsy kind of emo aspects. I didn't find it totally screamo, but there were some aspects of screamo in there.
Yeah.
Right. But also there were hints of like pop stylings too, which to me kind of reminded me a lot of The Cure.
Okay.
Right. Because Cure is very proggy too and artsy, but more pop punk than anything, right? And slightly alternative, like what you consider alt rock, right? Mm-hmm. But how I kind of defined it was it was like the singer Green with his really high vocal. Took me by surprise at first because my approach to listening to this, because I'd never heard them, was to say, let me hear it without investigating this band at all. Yeah. I want a raw reaction to this, and when I first listened to it, I thought it was a female singing it because he is so high in his register.
Very, very, I will say, like very Wheatus like teenage dirtbag. I'm just a teen. Well, it kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Well, he definitely cites Bjork as an influence. So okay. I mean, there's elements of that to be said for sure. But if I was to like kind of describe it, it to me it reminded me of like King Diamond of Merciful Fate.
Okay.
Crossed with Robert Smith of The Cure. Crossed with like the musical stylings of Dream Theater, and just kind of roll it all up into like a 90s alt band.
Wow, when you describe it that way, that fucking sucks.
No, I mean, I'm taking the aspects that I can connect with and I'm familiar with that I actually like about it, and said, if I was to see all those kind of spun together, I could see that coming together in this group.
It's funny too. You mentioned I'm guessing you looked into that a little bit about the influences that you mentioned Bjork, because I did not get that, but I like Bjork, but I like the Sugar Cubes more. Which the Sugar Cubes are the band that Bjork was in before she went solo. Mm-hmm. What the fuck was that?
Jesus!
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, some sort of bug.
That was something weird. We either got a cicada or a rattlesnake here in the Ottsville Record Garage.
Either or.
So
dealer's choice.
Like we heard that, right? We all heard that. I hope you guys were able to hear that because there was something definitely
a little bit of a rattle there.
Yeah, that's all right. Everybody watch your legs.
There's some shit floating around in this mango thing.
Nice.
Chilies.
But yes, before I got so rudely interrupted by whatever the fuck that was, we did have the door open too for a while here. Fuck. Okay, that's scary. And then awesome. I love the Sugar Cubes, and I like the Sugar Cubes more than Bjork's solo stuff, which I don't mind Bjork's solo stuff. Mm-hmm. It's definitely more dancey, more brings me back to college. University of the Arts. A lot of the females who went there were very much into Bjork. There's one woman specifically I remember who like her.
She had the swan dress.
It wouldn't have surprised me if she did because she was all about Bjork and Frente. Okay. And Frente, if you know what Frente was. Or is a female singer, and her only hit was a cover of New Order's Bizarre Love Triangle. It's a very nice version of it, but it's kind of like, how's that like your favorite? Like I like that song, but I don't know. I don't get how that's like a favorite thing. So I don't really get so much to Bjork from it, but it is interesting. I'm glad you at least brought up Bjork to the podcast here. So it's kind of cool. I'm so fucking thrown off by that rattle. Yeah. So
let's just say cicada.
Yeah, all right, we'll go with cicada. We are in a weird section here, but that could be a whole new part of the drinking game of the Country Hipster podcast.
There's an unidentifiable noise.
Yes, unidentifiable noises.
We drink until we're no longer scared.
Yes. On that note,
Oh, fucking mango chili.
So, but like, scale 1 to 10, Bob, what would you get? Like, if, 1 being, like, 1 being Steel Train and 10 being, Barry Manilow. Where would you put this album?
Well, for me personally, I mean, with 5.
5. Okay, so right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
I don't hate it. I don't love it.
Okay. So, Adam, you said this is not your favorite album by them.
No, my favorite album. We talked about it before. How a lot of times I feel like your first exposure to a band ends up being your favorite version of that band. So yeah, my favorite is their first studio album is called Juturna. I can't remember when the fuck it came out. This came out in 2010. This was the third, so I'm going to say it probably came out in
05,
06-ish maybe.
I think so.
Came out when it came out when I was in high school.
Okay.
If you allow me to delay a little bit, I will tell you exactly when Juturna came out. But yeah, like I said, if Juturna was 2005, here, Bob. If I owned a copy of Juturna, it would have been on season 1.
Okay.
I do really like the band. Like I said, I like Anthony Green's solo stuff as well, which is why I saved this for season 2 because it's not my favorite of the band.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
What do you think of this? Here it comes.
That's what she said.
Take a drink first.
I'm going to be surprised to see if it's not what I expect the reaction to be.
What reaction do you expect?
I'm just going to wait. I'm
going to wait? Just going to wait?
I'm going to wait and see what your reaction is.
I surprisingly enjoyed the fuck out of this album.
Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Jesus Christ, that's amazing.
I really, honestly enjoyed this album. Just right off the bat, the fucking rhythm section on this album, the bass and the drums are fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of shit on bass players a lot because they have basically become memes.
Yeah.
The bass playing on this is great. The fucking drumming of it is melodic. I also, I've been very much vocal about how I don't particularly care for drums and drummers in general. And this drummer is musical. There's the whole joke is like, what do you call a guy who hangs out with musicians? The drummer, you know what I mean? This guy is a musician. Like the drums throughout this album are very melodic.
I would say I've heard I've heard his drums and drums in this styling referred to as lyrical.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's phenomenal. And the bass is like the thing I like the most about the bass on this album
about Rob bass.
Yeah. Because it does take 2 to make a thing go right.
Oh boy.
And don't second guess yourself. It takes 2 to make it out of sight.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Like, I'm the country hipster and I came to get down.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what we're here for. But no, the bass on this, he does the bass.
We're kind of internationally known.
I know. Well, we're known on the microphone.
We're known to rock the microphone. This is
Bob is like, why the fuck am I here?
Bob's like, maybe fucking listen to Circa Survive.
Oh, you're actually Rob Bass.
Yeah.
Your name is Bob. Robert.
No.
Yeah.
Bob. Robbie. Roberto.
But, all right. So, like I said, the bass player on this,
these beers are getting to them more than I thought.
He does so many good things.
Mm-hmm.
Like with what he's doing is like, because there's layers on every single song has different layers to it. And they're all it's beautifully written. It really is. The songs are really well written, really well thought out. And there's all these different layers. And you have the bass coming in, like you'll have the guitars doing their thing, almost keeping the rhythm on their own. And then you have the bass go with like a fucking third that is like the right amount of dissonance to the root or to the whatever the guitars are doing. And it just fucking meshes so goddamn well. And it works.
This is why I was on the fence with whether or not it was his album now or yours.
I thought this was going to be for Paul, I thought this was just going to be a unanimous, why the fuck did you make me listen to this? I thought this was going to fall into the Say Anything, Taking Back Sunday realm of things.
Yeah, so no, but like, cause this, and here's what I'll say. It's funny, like, kind of like transitioning to is like, this is every bit of, Brand New and Panic at the Disco meets At the Drive-In in Texas Is the Reason. And like, especially with his vocals and even a little bit of Lush. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lush.
I've heard Lush.
I am a Lush.
I know that. I know Lush is it's a female fronted band from England.
Yeah.
Kind of big in the 90s, not like super huge, bigger over in England than they were here in the United States. I know they did Lollapalooza in 92. They were one of the bands on that. I hear Lush in this album. I hear the vocals are like At the Drive-In / Mars Volta, because they're kind of, you know, somewhat similar bands.
It's the lead singer and guitar and backup vocals for At the Drive-In.
Right.
Are the Mars Volta.
Exactly. So like I get that from here, and it's just, you know, but it has.
It also always blows my mind because this is like the third time you've referenced the Mars Volta and At the Drive-In, and it always blows my mind that you actually know who these bands are. Because again, like I know those bands, but like
he doesn't see this.
I know those bands, but like in my head, those were bands that like you would make fun of me for listening to.
No, I like those bands. No. I like them. You always say that. Sometimes I like your shitty music. Sometimes you just listen to shitty music. Like
I like your shitty music. So.
No, this album, it really did. It surprised me. I was just like, even Katie, we had to get the Regina Factor on this, and we were heading on a camping trip. And I was like, listen, I haven't really, had a chance to take her in the car, so we got to listen to it. She's like, am I going to be able to deal with this? I'm like, it's actually not bad. It's pretty good. And she's like, well, if it gets on my nerves, we have to change it. We got through the entire album, and she's like, no, that was actually much better than I thought it was going to be. So Katie liked it too. And like I said, it was surprising. I will say that the vocals, listening to this the amount of times that I did in a row, the vocals did kind of get on my nerves a little bit, but only because of the successive amounts of time that I was listening to it in a short period of time. I think if that's not necessarily the case if like I listened to it today and then like in a couple weeks I listen to it again. They don't bother. It was just, he has that higher pitch. He does have that nasally higher pitch. That does, when you have it constantly in your ears, it does get a little like.
I find that interesting because my experience was a little different. My first listen, and I was dealing with the 12-track album, right? Not the bonus remixed one.
Yeah.
But I only got through the first 6 tracks and I shut it off.
Okay.
I couldn't get through the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the next time I went back to listen to it again, I got through 8 tracks and wanted to shut it off and forced myself to listen to the rest of it because I knew I had to.
Right.
Just to give an objective opinion on it. But I was finding that each successive time that I was listening to it, it was growing on me a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those kind of scenarios. It could be, as I stated before, this isn't necessarily the style that I gravitate toward. Although, I mean, I do like Coheed and Cambria. I like, some, and they're a little different than this.
Yeah.
But
Coheed and Cambria does also have a vocalist with a higher male range than average.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they're prog.
Yeah.
But they're not as emo as this band, I don't think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's for me, I don't tend to go in that strain unless we're doing pop.
Yeah.
Which, kind of, I mean, Cure is like emo all over the place, but it's pop, right?
It's funny because I've actually seen Circa Survive open for Coheed and Cambria at what used to be the Electric Factory is now
interesting.
Franklin Music Hall.
And that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me because they're alike in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But different enough that would work, like from an opening band to a headliner, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
One of the things I will say back to what, like how you were saying how like you could get so far and then you'd stop and you could get so far and you get a little bit further and it did grow on you. One of the things I did find with this album though is as I was listening to it, especially like a few times in, I was like, oh fuck, is this still on? I did have a couple moments like shit. This is like it's almost like the and I don't even think it's necessarily that long of an album, but like I go back to when on the random record episode from season 1 when Kristen picked Blitzen Trapper Fur. Mm-hmm. It was only like a 42-minute album where I'm like, this feels like it's been a fucking hour and a half.
Yeah.
But that wasn't at first with this album. It was after listening to it a couple times, I was like, shit, this is still fucking playing. So it did. That was the one thing that I would say maybe is a drawback is that these songs are as good as they are and as layered as they are and as melodic and honestly good. It's a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I'm told that quite often, but it's
and it sounds the same as if it keeps
subtle.
along, you know. I'm just gonna. You know what? Check, please. I'm leaving.
Bob can only take so much of Paul's shitty jokes.
We lost Bob. Bob quit the podcast.
I'll be right.
But
take your time.
But Bob left his beers.
Yes, he left.
So that
his
is
beers,
okay.
So we know he'll be back because the beers are.
So yeah, this is and this is like probably like the third or fourth time where your reaction to one of my albums has surprised the shit out of me.
Okay, all right. Well, you finally picked a third good album. The rest of them were shit.
I was super surprised about Wonder Years.
Uh-huh.
I was super surprised. I'm still dumbfounded about the fact that you put Boxcar in your top 3 of season 1.
Yeah, it was, hey, I mean, it is what it is.
And I say this is another one. I was like, holy shit! Like I didn't,
what it does is,
I think the most. I mean, not most shocking, but like I think the most shocking part of it was like how into it you was Interpol.
Oh yeah,
where you didn't even pick a down track for that. You were just like it's all great.
Yeah, it was all great. And not to spoiler alert, I had a really tough time top 3 and bottom 1 on this one too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I did get them, but it was not an easy, like I had to really think about it. Like I said, the only thing I would consider the downside to this album is that, listen to it successfully. Anthony Green, that's his name.
Yes.
His voice does get a little it wears on you. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Great singer, good voice. Just it's that style of singing, it gets to me.
Yeah.
And just that it's long. It's a long album, even though it's not a long album.
Yeah.
It feels like it's taking a while.
I say, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, even that was after listening to it a bunch of times. So, I mean, it also just goes to show that I put the work in on an album I'm not as familiar with, unlike my co-host when it comes to other albums.
I wish that you were fucking in my car with me. I literally there were most days I just listened to it on the way to work.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple days where I listened to it to and from work,
mm-hmm.
and I just did not care for that. I'm like, I'm sorry that I don't love this album that you fucking suck its dick so much of, but assholes and opinions, Paul. Everybody's got one. Just because I don't like your albums doesn't mean I phoned it in or mailed it in or whatever some asshole on the internet fucking says.
Yes.
I listened to that album no less than 9 or 10 times.
Bob, you have come back. We missed you. We are glad you are back. Bob has returned for our people in our listening audience who are not watching the video, which you should watch the video on Spotify and YouTube and drop us comments and subscribe and set up some listener support. But at any rate, Bob is back, and this seems like the perfect time since Bob needed a break from it. I get it. Much like the singer of this, where you kind of take a break from the album to deal with his voice fully. You need to sometimes take a break from me. I get it.
Sometimes.
I get it. Like I said, I'm a lot to take in.
Yeah.
So this seems like the perfect moment to switch to our second brulette here.
Just a question before we start this brulette. Should I be drinking whatever I'm taking from this from a glass?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'll get you another glass.
I would. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say then let me dump this.
I got other glasses.
Oh, you got other glasses?
Yeah, we have other glasses. I think they're clean. I don't give a shit. I know you don't.
Yeah. Let me try a little bit of that.
Oh yeah, man. That's
I haven't had. Although I've had some Adela Chiladas before.
It's fucking intense.
Adam loves the chilada. It's actually
No.
No, man, you shut me up when you chugged the chilada on the air, But you knew there was a chilada coming in.
I knew.
But I promised you it wouldn't be a tomato based one.
But I was excited. I was excited for the. I'm still excited because there's 5 or 6 other ones.
Yeah, I almost got you one of the watermelon ones.
Yeah, I'm still curious about the other ones because this isn't terrible. I just wish that the mango was toned down a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
It's almost like a sickeningly sweet version of shitty mango flavor.
Yeah. Now, I did promise you I would not do another chilada for you, but I did not promise you I would not do a clamato.
What's a clamato? That sounds
made with clams. Yeah.
That sounds like you need penicillin to get rid of it.
Well, I guess you'll find out when it becomes your mystery beer.
Oh,
one of these episodes, one of these upcoming episodes.
All right.
Just so you know, I'm allergic to shellfish and peanuts.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
Which, we do have. There's a total of, I believe, 9 or 10 of these mystery beer episodes, and this is our third.
Yeah, so we've already done 3.
Yeah, we've already done 3, so we do
What
have
was
a
the
few
first
more
one?
of these. Buckingham Nicks.
Yeah, we had
Horrible
to
album.
get drunk to get through that.
So,
fucking
yeah,
album.
man, that one
Did you
sucked.
stop talking to the guy who suggested that?
Actually, I talked to him just this past weekend.
Fuck that guy. He seems like a nice person. Fuck that guy.
Right. All right, so we have how many beers here? 2, 4,
There are
6,
7.
7 beers, and there's only 3 of us, so you know what that means. Nothing. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. So, all right, so Bob, how do you want to do this?
So I think what we should do is we each of us select one,
Mm-hmm. And then switch.
and then I mean,
no.
you can make up the rules however you like, but I think that just the aspect of it being random is the roulette aspect of it.
So we'll just pick random beers and see who wants to go first.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, each one of these, I will state, is a unique and different beer.
Interesting.
Okay. These were cultivated from 2 different breweries.
Oh, so the 7 beers, it's only from 2 different breweries.
2 different breweries, 7 beers. All of them are different, and all of them are different styles.
Are they local breweries?
Without giving away the breweries, are we talking local or are we talking?
They are local breweries.
Local to Pennsylvania.
Correct.
Okay. New Jersey or just Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And the Philadelphia area specifically.
Okay. So these are smaller breweries, microbrewery type of beers.
They are.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So this is not none of these are going to be like Budweiser.
You're not going to find these in your local store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, even more like specific. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So these are very, very specific. So are these by chance any of them?
More importantly, will I find it on Untapped?
Yes.
Okay.
All of these could be found on Untapped.
They can all be found on Untapped. Are any of these like how you have your kind of like specialty brewery in your house of like Village Ale Works? Is it any?
These are not home brews.
These are not home brew type of thing.
Commercial breweries.
Okay. Commercial breweries, but they're small breweries.
But they're small.
Local to the Pennsylvania area. I guess the greater Philadelphia area would be maybe a little better.
That is accurate.
Okay, cool. I'm going to grab this one. I'm just going to fucking go for it. I'm going to grab this one right here. Okay. Don't know what I grabbed here.
I'm going to go furthest one from me.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
All right. Bob, what are you grabbing?
I think I'm going to do this one.
You do that one. All right. Once again, as you guys can see, these are all in foil. So, like, Bob knows what beers he had, but he does not know what beers we've grabbed. You know what I mean? I'm going first. It's my podcast, so fuck you guys. I'm going first here.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's that's charged. It's very charged, so that's good. I like that. I think I was gonna say it's some sort of it's a darker beer. I can tell that from the smell. I like that.
It's got real good color.
It's got real good color. That's a good color there. That's like an amberish. This is almost like Oktoberfestish Marzen type of color here, but I don't know that that's what this is. Mm-hmm. But it does have definitely that darker brown ale type. It's not as deep brown as a normal brown ale, and it's not. It's just this like it looks a mix between like a red and a brown. As it's settling, it's more of the red is coming out of this. That's nutty and that's malty. This has got nice. I'm gonna see if I can top it off a little bit. Top it off a little bit there.
Little sloppy toppy.
Little sloppy toppy. Yeah, no, and it is funny because I don't see this a lot with beers such as this where you actually as it settles I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I don't see it where as it's settling it's kind of lightening up in color,
right?
Which I think is very interesting and actually very cool.
Just looking at it, just the coloring of it, that's something that I would drink. Like,
yes, no, absolutely, and
that's something I would definitely go for. As Paul goes for his piss yellow beers, like that's something that I would go for.
I would drink this too. I'm gonna venture to say I'm gonna go like an aroma check first and say this is a brown ale, nutty brown ale. That's what I'm going, nutty brown ale. That is fucking phenomenal. That is like it's not a brown ale. It's got it does have a maltiness to it. It has a nuttiness to it, but not a nut brown ale. It kind of reminds me a little bit of an English bitter, but good. Like it's not, because English bitters tend to be, from what I've experienced with English bitters,
tend to be bitter in English.
No, they tend to be lighter. They actually tend to be lighter with not as much bitterness as you would think from a bitter, but this isn't bitter. Like I'm just, but like, God damn, this is good. Yeah, man. No, this is good. I'm not going to guess anything other than that. What was my last guess? What did I say?
You said brown ale, but you said not brown ale.
It's not. It's a brown ale, but not a brown ale. It's not a bitter. It's, you know what? I'm just fuck it. I'm just going to open up the wrapper.
I have a feeling I know what this one is.
I'm just going to open up the wrapper here and see what we have. See how close I came to describing this correctly. It is a Dresden Coda. Oh fuck! Oh man, you should have picked this one.
I put it in here thinking that maybe if he picked this
that
one,
would have been great. This is a Mexican style dark lager from Human Robot. Oh man. That is fucking good.
Well,
let him try it.
I told you with the color, this is definitely something I would drink.
Yes. No, man, this is so good. Human Robot has 2 locations in Philadelphia, one down at
oh yeah, I'm fucking drinking that all day.
Yeah, Fifth
that's
and
really
Fairmount.
Good.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's really fucking good.
And one in Jenkintown.
They actually have 4 locations.
Oh, 4 locations. Okay.
Correct.
What are the other 2?
So Human Robot started their original location is at 5th Street in North Philadelphia off the Temple campus.
Yes.
And then
I've been to that one.
Their second location was in Jenkintown, which is the house, what they call the German house.
Okay.
They opened up one on Schuylkill Banks and Center City, right off the Schuylkill. And I want to say right around 24th and Walnut down that direction, right? Mm-hmm. They call it Schuylkill Banks.
Yeah.
And then they opened one in South Philly most recently.
Okay. What I love about this is it actually has the canned on date. This beer is so fucking fresh. It was canned on July 15th of this year.
Oh wow.
Which is really cool. You don't really see that.
The artwork itself on the can is fucking cool.
The artwork is really cool. This is a great fucking beer, man. This is really good. I love Human Robot. So yeah, no, man, this is good, man. That's nice. I'm glad I got that.
That was really fucking delicious.
I also appreciate that you put that in specifically for Adam, even though I'm the one who chose
it as well.
Hey, even though you got it,
I'm definitely gonna have to make a trip to Human Robot because that's that right there is worth the trip.
Yeah.
So this is one of the 2 breweries that is amongst the 7 that I brought.
Just out of curiosity, so we have 7 beers split between 2 breweries.
Yes.
So one the one brewery has to have more beers in the lineup.
Yes.
Is it Human Robot or is it the other one?
I won't tell.
Okay. All right. Who wants to go second?
I'll go second.
Go for it.
I'll go second because I know what the beers are.
Yes.
So curious to see what.
Okay. It smells good. All right, let's see if I can do this without fucking pouring shit everywhere.
Yeah, none of these beers are torture beers. Let me put it that way.
All right. That's a real light color. It's a real Paul kind of beer color.
Yeah, it is.
It's got a really nice smell to it though. Like Honestly, it almost has like a weed smell to it.
Ooh, interesting.
Which is fun. It smells like something, but I can't figure out what it smells like. To me, it almost smells like
sex.
No, it smells like
semen.
It smells like a Pilsner. Like it smells like Pilsners I've had.
Farts.
Yeah, it smells like farts and semen. Semen farts is what it smells like Pilsners that I've had. It's
your mom's armpit.
Exactly. Where did that come from?
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of Bob.
Ooh, I think we need that Bob on more often.
So,
no, especially when I'm bringing beers, right?
It does this really weird thing where it starts off super, super light, and then a very like complex flavor kind of rolls in, like slowly rolls into it as it finishes off. But it's really fucking good. I said it smells like a Pilsner. Like it smells like a lot of Pilsners that I've had. But I'm kind of leaning that way, but I don't know because it doesn't seem super it's not super it's not a crisp taste.
Okay.
And when you get the microbreweries doing Pilsners, I feel like they always tend to be on that like super crisp thing, right? Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's fucking good, Bob. Bob knows his shit.
I don't bring bad beer.
No, you don't. You don't. I bring bad beer. But, but I know that, and everybody knows that about me. That's why they love me. It's part of my charm.
All right. So
if you're gonna guess,
I like the double taste on that because it's not a finish. It's not like it finishes different. You get your first initial hit on the tongue.
It evolves,
and then it's like,
it's not that it finishes with that rounded flavor. It evolves into that rounded flavor.
Yes, like that is nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with like it's some sort of like weird style Pilsner that I'm unfamiliar with, but it's fucking good.
I can't
fucking good.
Argue with your assessment there. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting beer, that's for sure. So
let's see what we got.
Adam is opening up his beer here.
There we go.
It's a human robot.
Is it a human robot?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is another human robot. How the fuck do you pronounce that? Hallertau Pils. German style Pilsner. Brewed and canned in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with a little dog shit on top.
A little dog shit.
That's really fucking good.
That beer's got dog shit on it.
It's got dog shit on it. Yeah, just from this and the one Paul's got, these two alone are worth a trip to Human Robot. These two are both fucking delicious.
I think we're gonna need to go to Human Robot while Katie is still pregnant. So she can drive us. So she can just pick us up. Yes, like you know what I mean. Like we'll just like Uber down or
maybe talk to Human Robot to a pop-up shop.
Oh, we could do that.
Maybe that's the first pop-up shop that I actually fucking show up.
Oh yeah, right. And then we'll still have to have Katie pick us up from. No, that's good.
These are really good fucking choices, Bob.
Again, I've been to two of the Human Robots. I've been, like I said, I've been to the one at Fifth and Fairmount. I've been to the one in Jenkintown, but I definitely know I haven't had this, and I don't recall if I've had that.
No.
But I, probably because when I'm there, I go straight for like whatever the check is. Check this, check that, because they do it so well. But that is very interesting there.
I say I'm trying to read the can date on mine, but it's a little fucked up,
a little smudgy.
So what's funny is about the one.
Looks like static.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The one in Jenkintown used to be a Neshaminy Creek Brewing location.
It was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I actually ate there. What was it called? Burrow
Brew House.
Burrow Brew House. There you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all Neshaminy Creek beers, and they had really good food. And then I think pandemic happened, and they had to shut down, and
So I'm gonna move on to mine since I know that we need to press on.
Yes,
here.
And do we have another Human Robot? Because we know that one of the breweries is 3 beers and one of the breweries is 4 beers.
Correct.
So it is very interesting. What would be the fucking what if we all picked Human Robot?
What if we fucked with it? Is like actually one?
Well, what are we gonna do with the other 4?
Drink them.
One of the beers was one brewery, and the other 6 were Human Robot.
I'm not saying.
I mean, you know what? You did not say it was 3 and 4.
We just assumed 3 and 4, but you're right.
I'm not saying it's 3 and 4.
You got the 2 human robots and everything else. The other 5 are
Yeah. All right. So what do you got going on?
So here,
the other 5 are Coors Light.
this is what we're doing here.
Coors Light.
Okay.
Yes, because Bob is a huge Coors Light drinker.
Ooh, that's got good color to it too. She got real good. She got back from Florida. She got real good color.
It's good.
Ooh, that's got really nice color to it.
So that looks lager to me. Like just from that pour, I would say that's a fucking lager right there.
Well, and you can always tell lager as opposed to ale. Lager always should be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like that's a lager. It's clear. That's a lager. It's clear.
Yeah.
Like if you pour like like an ale, it doesn't always have to be clear.
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at, you know how sometimes when you pee and it just comes out clear? Next time I pee and it's clear, I'm going to be like, oh, that's a lager.
It's a lager. Well, I mean, it's usually super clear because you've been drinking lagers, but like...
It shows you're well hydrated. You got rid of...
All right, so here we are.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
Yeah, man, that is good. That looks like a lager to me. What are you smelling there?
It smells like a lager.
Smells like a lager. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Malty. Not 100% sure which one this was.
Okay. And Bob's the one who picked the beers too. We gotta keep that in mind. He just doesn't remember what he got there. But that's kind of like the fun of doing this and doing this Brulette challenge here.
A little inside information of the 7 beers that I have foiled up and brought. I've only had 2 out of the.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's even more interesting.
Cool. Nice.
So
you could be tasting the beer for the first time.
Yeah, so hopefully you get one of the 5.
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
And that's very, very well could be the case here.
Nice. So,
okay.
So it's breathing like a lager too, right? The aroma is kind of lagerish for you. Oh, Bob's very happy. If you guys who are just listening, you can't see the face that Bob just made. He is very pleased with this beer.
It was a lot more pleasant of a face than when he drank the Chilada.
That is for sure.
As well.
So what do you think you have there, sir?
I think that this is a Czech lager.
You think it's a Czech lager? Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Actually, no. I'll refine. Czech Pilsner.
Yeah, you say that right as I taste it. That I would. I'm not a betting man. I don't gamble. Well, no, that's not true. I gamble. I don't bet money.
Just hand jobs.
Just hand jobs. I would bet you a hand job that is a Czech Pilsner. 100%.
Well, let's hope you lose.
so I'll say that.
No, if he loses, I win.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to say because it'll give it away.
I'm not touching your dick.
Well, I'm not doing that anyway. But if it's not what I think it is, then it is still out there.
Okay.
So I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it's Czech. I think it's Pilsner, which is a lager, as we described before. So it is a Czech lager, but I believe it's Pilsner style.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you say, because you obviously picked these beers, right? Mm-hmm. Is this from the other brewery or is it Human Robot? Just from what you're thinking.
Well, I mean, if it's what I'm thinking, that it's a Human Robot.
It is Human Robot. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yes. So I'm going to unveil, and it is not.
It is not. Okay.
It is the other brewery.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
Wow, look at that.
There was one of these sitting on the... Did you have one of these earlier?
I did.
There was one of those sitting on the table.
I told you that I'd had 2 of these beers. This is one of the ones I've had.
Okay. So what do we have there, Bob?
So this is from Bill's Best Brewery.
Which I have not heard of, actually.
They're in Glenside, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
One location only.
Mm-hmm.
This is an English style ale.
Nice.
Which I tend to favor a lot of English style
ales.
Do
I owe you a hand job now?
Mm-hmm. No. No, you don't.
Tune in for bonus content on Instagram.
that'll be on the pay-per-view.
Mhm.
You know,
We're gonna start a Patreon.
Yeah.
So
Beer Hub.
Patreon, OnlyFans, it's the same thing.
Right, Bill's Best Brewery has now been uncovered as the second
Okay.
and other brewery that I had brought beers from.
Nice.
Funny that doesn't remind me of the beer that I had had before.
I honestly, the fact that it's and
it's an ale.
Yeah,
it's not even a lager.
That's when I took a sip. It tasted. When I took a sip of it, I got my initial thought was that's a brown ale that Paul was talking about earlier.
And it's closer to
it is. It's a tawny pub ale, an English style ale. Yes. I will tell you, I love the fucking Argyle on the can.
But that is a phenomenal beer.
Yeah, no, that's good.
It was very good.
That's good. Awesome, man. So that is cool. We have 4 more beers here to drink. We're not going to do them on the air. We're going to do them off the air. We're drinking all your beer tonight, Bob. Just so you know.
Paul.
Yes.
We all know how we feel about this album. We know how we feel about Human Robot. But what we don't know yet is how Regina feels about Circa Survives Blue Sky Noise.
Well, it might surprise you.
And I mean, we actually even already know how Katie feels about Blue Sky Noise, which is not a common factor that we're aware
No, it's not. It's not.
But what is the Regina factor for this album?
She likes it.
Yeah,
she likes it. Definitely was. You know what I mean? Was not. I wouldn't say like you know, on a scale of like, you know, say anything in Hairspray, it's like probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a like. It's not a dislike, or it wasn't even like a slight indifference. She definitely was into this album. You know, that, and like I said, that's when like we were listening to it in the car, and even like I said, Katie enjoyed the album when we were doing that listen as well. So, and you know, and even like I'd probably put it on like the Katie scale as a like too.
Yeah.
But maybe like more of like, you know, slightly above indifferent.
More of a tolerate than a like.
Yes, exactly. But Regina definitely liked it. She was singing along. She definitely was not upset that it was on. And I even had the deluxe edition on. We did like figure out where to like the extra songs start
once it turns into acoustic.
Yes, exactly. We're like, okay, cool. We know where the last song is. But no, Regina liked it. It's a like on the Regina factor, so that has Adam now in the lead at 3 likes and 1 dislike. I have 2 likes and 1 dislike. The listeners have 1 of each, a like, a dislike, and an indifferent. And Tom, who we've not picked the Tom record in quite some time, is at a like on his. So Bob, what?
I miss Tom.
Yeah, I miss Tom too. We should go see him sometime. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bob.
Wink.
What are your top 3 songs on this?
I forgot that was part of the podcast.
That is part of the podcast. Did you fuck up? Did you not take that in your notes? I've actually forgotten this.
No, I haven't. I just forgot.
I've actually really have forgotten this segment. I don't like. You could go back in other episodes, and if you get to this point, I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go write my fucking things down.
Yeah.
But anyway, do you have a top 3?
No. And I'll explain.
Do you have a bottom 3?
No.
Okay.
The approach that I took with this album was because I thought a lot of it sounded the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed and disliked aspects of all of it. There's no way that I could land on a worst or top 3 or any of it.
That's fair. I mean, that is really fair. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because, you know, I will say that this part of this album was very difficult for me. Mm-hmm. For, you know what I mean? So I definitely get it. I get it that it's, you know, and even this, like the ones that I picked, it's not even necessarily sure that, like I truly feel that, you know what I mean? Like I do, but it's like, this could change like at any time. So I respect that. I respect that a lot. So then, Adam, what are your?
I was drawing in my book.
What
are
your top 3?
For my top 3, I have I felt free.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Through the Desert Alone and Spirit of the Stairwell. Probably I felt free being number one for me on the album.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I like the melody of the I Fell Apart in Your Arms for the last time. I like the way the song flows and everything like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I would definitely say I Felt Free is number 1, and the other 2 are kind of just interchangeable.
So I Felt Free is also one of my top 3.
Mm-hmm.
My other two. Whoa, man! We can't get into copyright issues.
Copyright.
What the hell, man?
Hashtag copyright.
Hashtag copyright. Yes. No. So I Felt Free is one of my top 3. Glass Arrows is another one on my top 3.
Yeah.
And this one here, like, and we talk about this, and I wonder. Again, I might have to put more time on. Honestly, I might have to put more time into this album to really, even though I've put a lot of time into it already, to figure out if this really is my number one, or, as we say, our first exposure to a band tends to be our go-to for what we like about it. The album starts so fucking good, man.
With
Strange Terrain.
yeah,
and that's actually my number one. The little bit of like the kind of the lead in where it's not musical, it's a little bit of an intro.
Strange Terrain is we read the signs completely back.
Yes. And then when it's and it just comes in and it bangs and it's like, fuck yeah, man, this is like good. Yeah. Honestly, that is really the song that like I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna like this album.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time listening to it and hearing that and be like, I would have written that album. I would have, or like not written that, written that song. Mm-hmm. I would have rocked out to that song. That would have been a song.
Did I say Stairwell?
No.
What did I say?
I don't know what you said.
I said Spirit of the Stairwell.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah.
I was like,
okay.
Well, I'm pointing to that as if there was one that stood out to me. That's probably going to be the one that stood out to me.
Yeah. Okay, all right, cool.
Which is, if I'm not mistaken, that's a side 2 track.
That's like towards the end, Spirit of Stairwell. I do have an honorable mention with Get Out.
Get Out's good.
Get Out's also a very good song. Those are the ones that kind of like popped out to me like the most. Spirit of the Stairwell also popped out to me, as my least.
Interesting.
As my least, but that's the thing too. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I really don't hate it.
Well, it's kind of the same thing for my bottom. My bottom is Frozen Creek.
Okay.
I don't hate Frozen Creek, but to me, it's the lesser of the album.
Yeah, but like if I listen to Spirit of the Stairwell right now, I might feel differently about it when I listen to it again.
Because you've been drinking.
Because I've been drinking. No, but there's a lot of good things about Spirit of the Stairwell that. There's good elements to that song. There's good melody. There's good dynamics to the song. I actually did listen to the lyrics to some of to a lot of these songs. Probably don't like I'm not as connected to the lyrics as much as Spirit of the Stairwell, which maybe that's why it ends up as my bottom.
Yeah.
But it's again, this song definitely falls into that category where we talk about how my least favorite song on this album is still better than the best song on some other albums. Like Say Anything. Like anything by Say Anything goes fucking...
So that's interesting because you were talking about Spirit of Stairwell being on your bottom and that's probably the one that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, well, he put it on his top 3 too. I mean, just because you guys don't have good taste in music doesn't mean that I don't. I mean, I am the fucking country hipster, the Country Hipster Podcast. When you're done texting there, sir, could you grab your copy of your album?
In front of the podcast, my daughter Haley is texting me because she wants me to learn how to play a Mice and Men song.
Oh God, that's horrible! Don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. So, Adam, can you take out that record?
So I have a translucent blue version of this record, and it doesn't have the bonus track, so I'm assuming mine is not the deluxe.
It is not. So here's the thing. I did not look this up by the catalog number because it had the UPC, and sometimes the UPC is better there's a better way to look it up because it does actually give you a specific pressing. So when you put in the UPC on this one,
it's a little dirty.
It only shows one pressing, which is a 2010 blue translucent vinyl pressing of.
I was trying to get the light to go.
This album. Yeah, I know it's a little hard. It's a little hard. So it's pretty. It's a pretty blue. I have some blue translucent records, which I do. Blue is my favorite color. Probably only followed by red.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You can see the light through the record. But I do like it. It is pretty, and there's only one version of this as per the UPC, which is presumably the one that you have.
Ooh, can I ask a question real
Yes,
quick?
sure.
So every record that I've ever owned in the dead wax has the markings, but it always looks like the markings are handwritten.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they're stamped.
So this one, I've never paid attention. This one says master disc stamped.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never
It
seen
happens.
I've never seen like the etchings stamped before. I've only ever seen them where they look like they're
you haven't really looked well enough, because if you looked at your Billy Joel record that we did a couple weeks ago, that has stamped etchings.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's right behind me. I can pull it.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Sometimes they're stamped. Sometimes it's a mix of it looks like handwritten etchings and then stamped etchings, but that stuff will also it goes to the specific pressing plant that it is done, especially with the older records. It will that sometimes is an indication, a further indication of what pressing plant it was done at.
I think this is funny because while I did see the Glass Houses episode.
Fuck you, Stan. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. See, asshole.
I don't recall that this was was Adam's record.
It was, yes. Yeah. No, this was Adam's record.
It would have been one that I guess would have been Adam's record.
I know.
I would have thought it would have been your record.
Well, then you obviously were not paying attention.
Shout out to Sean with that guy with the fucking watch on his
Liberty
ankle.
DeVito. That's how he keeps time, man. Like, you guys think I'm fucking joking about it. I wish we could talk to Liberty DeVito and say, hey, why did you put the fucking watch on your ankle? Because that's how he keeps time. This is now the third time on this podcast that I'm mentioning about that.
If you asked him why he had a fucking watch on his wrist, he's like, it was the 80s and we were wacky.
No, it's because he's a drummer and he's right-handed, and the bass drum, he uses his right foot. And with the bass drum is how you keep time.
Okay.
Bob?
Yes.
I know. Thank you.
Fuck you. I've played drums before. I know how to keep time.
Well, then you should get it. You should get his reference. Jesus Christ, you guys.
It's a bad dad
Between
joke.
you and Sean, it's not a bad dad joke. It's what it is. God. All right. At any rate, do you want to know your value of this?
I do want to know my value of this because I want to know if I took the lead.
What does the big D really matter?
Yeah,
does it really matter?
Oh, it doesn't.
Like,
so that means
why is everything in competition with you, Adam?
That sounds like
why does it got to be? Oh, I had the big D.
That sounds like
Who
I may have
cares
taken
if you
the
had
lead there,
big
Paul.
D or the little D, or maybe just a manageable D. What does it matter?
It's not the size. It's the motion of the. What is this? It's not the size of the wave. The motion of the ocean.
That is not true.
Yeah.
That is not true. It's the size. I think the size matters. I think. Yeah. I think the size matters. It does. Because if you have a micro penis,
I'm all about girth, baby. So Paul, what is
so Big D makes the difference?
I missed because I was talking about stamped etching and press etching. What did you say you determined was the pressing of this?
There's only one pressing of that. I actually didn't even go off of the etchings. I went off the UPC.
Yeah.
Much like, so if you guys recall all the way back in like 1989 when we started the podcast on the pilot episode. No, not the pilot episode. The first episode 2, which was actually we named it episode 1, but it was actually episode 2. We did Bright Eyes. So yeah. I'm wide awake. It's morning. I had to look that up by the UPC and not the catalog number because I had a different version. I had a remastered version. The UPC was how that was determined. Yeah. So sometimes if they have, I
can't
UPC,
read your notes anyway from this thing. I saw you see me look and then you cover it.
Yeah, that's fine. So if it has a UPC, I will try to look up the UPC. It's sometimes the UPC is any record after like 1980. Not every record in 1980, but any record after 1980 has a UPC on it. So before that, they only use catalog numbers, right? A lot of the records will have the same UPC regardless of if it's remastered, if it's 180 gram, if it's an original pressing. So that's where you need the etchings to tell you which exact pressing it is and which pressing plant it comes from. This particular one, and much like the Bright Eyes one, the UPC is what's different, not the catalog number. So with the UPC on this, there's only one pressing that comes up, which is a 2010 blue translucent vinyl pressing of this record, which the very good plus value of it is $65.
And if I remember correctly, Paul, I was only like 40 behind you in the race. So
fuck you and fucking Jack Antonoff. Fuck Jack Antonoff.
So because of Jack Antonoff and now Anthony Green, I've taken the lead.
Your running total has taken you into the lead for the Big D at $311.
It seems that the tables now have turned with the other shoe on the foot.
You're keeping time with the left foot now?
Yes.
The other watch on the foot. The watch is on the other foot now. My running total in second place is at $287. You have 4 records to my 3.
Mm-hmm.
The listeners' running total, which is at 3 records. So are they at 3 or 4? They're at 3. Is $163, and Tom's running total with his One Booze and Vinyl episode is at $57 when this is all said and done. But yes,
let's hope you got another Buffy the Vampire ace up your sleeve, but
there might be a couple. There's 2.
There's potential.
Now, okay, and I'll say the 2 that are in there were not. Buffy was the only one I picked in the sense of I'm going to fucking kick your ass on this. Yeah. I'm going to put this in here to do. The other 2 that are in there that I think are potential to have higher value are not in there because I'm trying to kick your ass. They're really, truly in there because like they're albums that I love. So,
all of my stuff's in there because it's albums that I enjoy.
Yeah, I know. You're pure at heart and I'm a dickhead and blah, blah, blah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I paid like $20 for this album.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's like the Fun album where you got it well after record store day. You probably paid just the regular manufacturer's, suggested retail price of whatever it was, $30, $35. And it was worth like $197. It's like,
it's the most expensive album we've covered. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. Fuck you. God damn.
All right. So let me put Circa Survive.
Yeah, put Circa Survive down and see what go grab the box of Michael and have Bob pick our next episode.
All right, Bob, I got Michael Stripe.
He's got Michael Stripe.
Michael Stripe.
Michael Stripe, who was the singer of the 4-piece band.
4-piece. That's a 4-piece band.
That's a 4-piece band, REM.
That makes
reconstructions
albums.
of the Fables. So
they didn't play What's Your Frequency, Kenneth, on that album.
They do not, with good reason.
You don't like that?
All right, so Bob has there it is again.
It's definitely a cicada because it's up there. It's high.
I hope it's high. I fucking hope it's high.
Yeah, I mean, that's just me being. That's
just Snoop Dogg. He's hanging with Snoop Dogg. He's definitely high.
I'm sure Rattlesnakes can climb some shit. But.
All right, so since I open envelopes in a normal way and Adam opens them like a person who needs a helmet, I am going to open this one.
What color is that card, Paul?
They're all white this season. They're all white, so there is no indicator by the card itself as to when we can look through and see. Oh, well, maybe this is an Adam, or maybe this is a Paul.
It was kind of fun though. That's how Paul gets excited like that when it's his record.
It is my record. So I have a shot. Motherfucker.
What do you
take it back to Big D?
What are you down?
311 and 287. So, you're
$30.
Yeah, 30-ish bucks. And I am very, very fucking excited about this one.
Ooh, I can see it, and I'm excited about this one too.
You can see it. It is.
Oh shit! It's another. What's it called too?
It's another mystery beer.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have another Brulette challenge next week. What did you do?
I have done nothing.
I leaned on the corner in the table.
So we have here. This is one of my picks. It's another mystery beer. So there might be a couple things going on in this episode if I've worked the phones correctly.
If you're as good as a talker as you think you are,
if I am as good of a talker as I think I am, we are going to have another interview.
Oh.
If I've worked the phones correctly.
Interesting.
And we are going to have another first here on the Country Hipster Podcast in the sense that this is going to be an on-location episode.
Do tell.
That we, next week, are going to be covering Frank Turner, England Keep My Bones.
Now, is that a scratch on the cover?
It is a scratch on the cover. So
I wasn't
honestly,
sure.
This is my copy, and I actually did that the day I fucking got it.
Nice.
This is actually one of the reasons why I stopped taking the shrink off of my records. Because as I was taking the shrink off of this, I fucking scratched the front of the cover. Like literally opened up the fucking record and put the scratch on the cover. So yes, and it is because of that I stopped taking the shrink off my records and just started opening along the opening there, so I could pull the record out, even if I have a gatefold. Now I only have a black vinyl, but this is, if I recall, it is either an original pressing or an early repressing. It feels 180 grams. I know it's not the deluxe edition. I think the deluxe edition was only released digitally. I do not believe it was released on vinyl. But I could be wrong about that. We'll have to see. So next week's episode is Frank Turner, England Keep My Bones, and
do you want to talk about all these little fucking hints you're dropping, or do you want to save it?
We're gonna save it because I don't want to put too much out there.
Intrigued to shit.
So I will just say that possibly I have reached out to some people. Fuck it. If we work it right, I'm talking to Frank Turner about this fucking album.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So
I don't know whose dick you keep sucking to get these interviews.
Nobody's. That's the thing. You know what I mean? But like things with this. All right. So at this point, if we can work this out, we've had Rick Barton on here from formerly of Dropkick Murphys. We've had Skinny Lister on here. Skinny Lister is a label mate of Frank Turner. If I've worked this right, Frank Turner will probably technically be the biggest celebrity, and if they're going to come up here, how much of a celebrity are they really? Probably very down to earth people. But if we work this right, I will be interviewing Frank Turner. Awesome. And if I've worked this right even more, next week I have a pop-up record store at the legendary Tierno in Trenton, where, as we know, the official bartender of the Country Hipster Podcast.
I mean, I might get to see Tom.
You might get to see Tom, and you might be able to do it at Tierno. So we'll see what happens.
I might get to smell him.
Oh, wow. Well, that just went weird.
So hopefully Tom's on board with listening to
this
album.
Hopefully he is.
I feel like I imagine if we're playing if we're gonna be playing at the Nog, I feel like Tom would probably have to be there.
He's going to be there. I know he's bartending next week, so we'll see how we can work it out. It's going to be interesting because he's also literally going to be working as we're doing it. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But maybe this is an interview episode. Maybe this is also on location, our first ever on location episode.
That's kind of fucking weird.
It is.
And crazy.
It is.
And it's terrifying.
So here's what I'm going to say. If oddly enough, my Tierno t-shirt and on Hamilton Avenue in Trenton, New Jersey, and we're doing this, and I have had the pleasure of talking to Frank Turner. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed on all
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. Do you have anything else to say about this album?
No. Same thing as I always say. Listen to it, form your own opinions. If you like it, go listen to Juturna.
Yeah,
because Juturna is my favorite album by them.
I will, just based on my feelings of this album, I'm purposely going to go check out Juturna. Now, you know what I mean? Because if that's the better album, not only by your standards, but when we were saying your friend who has 6 degrees of separation to the band says the same thing.
Correct.
I am very interested in checking out Juturna.
Yeah, and I would check it out too, just because I didn't hate this particular album, but if there's something better by them, I'd like to hear it.
Which is interesting because like we said, like Adam, it's not his favorite album by him. So I am very excited about checking out Juturna. Yeah. Bob, any last minute thoughts?
No.
Oh,
I have another last minute thought.
What?
Go to fucking Human Robot.
Yes, drink their beer, yes. And also Bill's Best Brewery. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Bob, thank you very much for coming back up to the Ottsville Record Garage. I know it's not the easiest of destinations all the time.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming up and bringing these delicious beers. We still have 4 more to drink that we're going to drink off camera.
Which we will.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Guys, this was a fun episode. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out with us, everybody. Listen. Click on the link on our Spotify for the listener support and set that up, and I will hit you up with a personalized promo code that can be used over and over again at OttsvilleRecordGarage.com if you are a vinyl collector. Nothing else, guys? Everybody, we good?
Yeah.
All right. On that on that note, it is time to. You fucked this up so many times, so you better get it right this time. Oh.
Whoa, baby. Whoa. Let's turn the lights down in the Ottsville Record Garage.
Hey.